Good morning, Awoken. Hope you're all doing well on this Wednesday morning. Happy Awoken Wednesday, you guys. It's our favorite day of the week on this channel. Thrilled to be back with you guys on this morning live stream. We're going to be discussing, essentially continuing the conversation we were having last night. The big news, though, is that yesterday was not Bridge and Power Plant Day. The president chose a different direction. Let's just say that, at least temporarily different direction, because several key, really a couple key things happened, or didn't happen rather, on that front. Is that no additional attacks against Iranian transportation infrastructure, energy infrastructure, power plants, energy grids, etc. occurred. No bombing, no widespread bombing campaign happened. We saw this through Iranian state media showed that there were civilians that had went to the Iranian power plants and formed human chains around them to show their commitment. We also saw some back and forth with the president and Iranian negotiators or mediators. So nothing happened on that front. And there was also if not an assumption, but almost something that was calculated into this. If the Iranian infrastructure was attacked, that means the Iranians would just punish and inflict the same damage onto the Gulf countries, the U.S. allied Gulf countries over there. Would have targeted Saudi Arabia. They obviously want to get off of the oil-based economy. Would have targeted some of their infrastructure. Same with Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait, all those guys. So there was a mutually assured destruction card that was taken into yesterday, I believe. I think that's why ultimately nothing really happened when it came to this. So we're going to be talking about that all day this morning. We're here right outside of the U.S. Supreme Court. We're going to be taking your questions, hanging out with you guys today. We'll get the poll on the screen here in a couple of minutes, but I just want to remind you, if you're just now joining the live stream, would love to remind you, leave the video like, hit that subscribe button, share this video and channel with your friends that you feel may be interested in some of this content. And we're also, a little programming update note is that we have, we're doing Awoken Wednesday tonight. We're going to be talking about North Korea, particularly their nuclear program, how they were able to avoid and evade Western detection, and compare it to Iran's nuclear program as well. So that's our topic for this evening, but we're going to be talking about the ceasefire announced by the president this morning on this morning's show. So let's see what you guys are saying down in the comments. So got the Colonel. Good morning, Colonel. First comment, Colonel says, no political party represents America or the people here. Yeah, man, there's always a political will and effort for regime change in Tehran and Iraq and other Libya. But man, there's still no border wall. It's been a decade. Still no border wall. Mark Travis says, when will we as a nation focus on our nation first? Great question, Mark. I wish it was yesterday. Not even yesterday. I wish it was decades ago. That's why we started the channel, to grow movement large enough to where we can start influencing political elections, because that's where my background is in the majority of its campaigns. A political strategist, understand what is going on, how to win campaigns, how to talk to people in a way that convinces them. Sleepy time. Good morning, sleepy time. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Aulden, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining the stream this morning, man. Glad to see you. Mark says, I remember going to DC in 1986. I miss President Reagan. And Pep Percival 4930 says, don't take drugs. Good advice, man. Pure Joy says, is influencing somebody similar to telling somebody what they should think? Well, for me, I explain, really provide evidence, historical records, history, and why, like evidence why I think it's in your best interest. That's why every time we do Awoken Wednesday and we talk about countries, that's why I don't just talk about what's happening at the moment. I lay the pretext, I lay the historical facts surrounding all these conflicts to really. Oop, they just got bitched out. Okay. And yeah, and I still ultimately don't tell you what to think as well. It's always I just try and provide the receipts and give you the truth and the historical context there. Mark says, I got married in September of 16 years. Oh, in September of 2016, my wife and I will be celebrating 10 years. Congratulations, Mark. Awesome, dude. Happy for you, man. Captain Ghost says, why is Hegseth so cocky? Good question. It's both. So you see both sides almost after a political debate, like the presidential campaign. Right. Both campaigns immediately released the statement that, oh, Donald Trump won the debate tonight. Oh, Kamala Harris won the debate tonight. Here's why. Here's why the opponent was so dumb and stupid. That's what this is with the war as well. It's just both sides for diplomatic to save face, diplomatic cover. And imagine if Pete Hegseth went out today and said, yeah, man, imagine today Hegseth came out and said, yeah, we got our ass kicked. We stink. Our military stinks. That would be a huge morale loss for the country. So it's just something they, yeah, almost like right after the political debates in the country now. Oh, here's why I won the debate. So I think that's why he's coming out like this. Same thing with the Iranian side. I'm sure they're claiming victory as well, same as us. So I think that's what's happening there. But like that's a good question though. Matt Butter says someone misses Reagan because Captain. He thinks he's a Christian crusader. Have you seen those tattoos? It was a morale loss when they put him in charge of them. Pete won't do that. Then ego is a big thing. Definitely, man. Yeah, it's yeah. Just imagine if like Donald Trump said, "Yeah, like our military is totally destroyed. We didn't achieve any of our objectives." And imagine what that would look like. Not even just for the political campaign side of things, but like morale in the country, faith in the press, faith in the military and the future. A little late for that. You've got generals being fired, retiring, or quitting. Michigan needs to secure a Republican governor. Yeah, so what Whitmer can't run this cycle. So who do you know who the candidates are right now? I think Michigan has later primaries in the year, like in August. They still have a long time until their primaries. So that's why we probably haven't covered Michigan much at all. And pro folk 22 says Michigan needs to keep a Democratic governor. Yeah. Do you know? Do either of you guys know who they're going to run right now. I've followed the Senate race a little bit because you got Haley Stevens, uh, Dr. Abdul Sayed, and Molly McMorrow versus Mike Rogers on the GOP side right now. So you got a couple Democrats got a competitive primary, um, to what I can remember at least. Uh, Mark, did you see the early elections yesterday? Says Mad Butters, wake up, brother. Literally wake up. Haha. Become awoken. Sam says hi. Good morning, Sam. Thank you for joining the stream, big guy. Happy to see you. We will get Canada as a state. We will send Trump to Canada to freeze. Mark Travis says John James is endorsed by Trump. Okay, and he's running for governor then? Okay. That's right. I think I remember that now because he works right over here right now. He's in one of these three buildings. He's, I believe, a member, the 10th district of Michigan, I believe it is. Roseline Margaret says hello. Rosaline, excuse me, mispronounced her name the first time. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Good morning. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning. Mark says Mike Rogers is good. Sleepy Time Video says, thank God for President Trump and our ICE agents. Amen. And then Mad Butter says, if you meet me at Ben's Chili Bowl, I'll buy you a half smoke. Maybe one of these days. Is that the one that Bill Clinton? It's 10th district. I was a precinct delegate in 2014 and met Governor Rick Snyder, is that, or Nick Snyder, something like that. Wow, dude, yeah, that's pretty sick. That's cool, man. And Sam says, oh yeah, I haven't put the poll today. Rick Snyder, okay, gotcha. So the poll question. Yeah, let's just do that. It's a good one. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, lost the stupid ass. Reconnect. Okay. Let's see. I've been live about a little under 15 minutes. About almost coming up on 14 minutes here. No worries about being late. Yeah, pretty much everyone. What I think happens is that when I start the stream, it takes usually the first 3 to 3.5 minutes. It says there's nobody here, and then after about 3 to 4 minutes, it starts populating. So I think there's just a little bit of a lag or delay when it starts giving people notifications and stuff. Okay, I see oil was Mark Travis says, but they asked me to run again in 16, but I was planning my wedding. Yeah, priorities, man. Mad Butter says, I see oil was the most expensive it's ever been yesterday, and talks of no more petrodollar. I would say Iran came out on top, but Trump didn't really have a plan to begin with. Trust Blue 777 says Iran won this conflict. Summit says, sir, poll will reflect whose PR was better. Oh, it's just two purple S's. Okay, I thought it was the same person. Overall opposite says I earned 2,000 euro trading oil. It's about pacing taco cycles. Can MAGA say what we won? And then Sir Aldog says hi. Good morning, Sir Aldog. Everybody, just would love to remind you, if you're new on the stream, please leave the video like, leave a comment, vote in today's poll, and also subscribe to the channel. Share this video and other content with your family, your friends, people that you think would make great for our community that we're building here. Doesn't matter what they believe in, because right now we're a big tent coalition. We listen to everybody. May not agree with everybody, but that's what the chat room is for, to discuss our to really have these discussions, right? Especially in the mornings. I'll kind of say my little spiel, but then I'll let you guys kind of get after it as well. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it went back to the center. Rosaline says, I like it. Awesome. Thank you very much, Rosaline. Good morning. The city looks good, and I see that it's still there. So let's have a good day and not get into too much. LOL. Sheilon Omar with a banana. Then the Colonel. What a friendly CIA agent, not trying to psyop us. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, guys. Yeah, I'm your friendly CIA agent. I look through your cell phone. I work with the FBI. We look through your cell phones. We're seeing who you're texting, and all that good stuff. But ultimately, I am a trustworthy fellow. Just kidding, of course. Overall, opposites says Taco Cycle. 1, T threatens sell oil. 2, T chickens buy oil. 3, repeat. Same says Aulden. I don't expect USA to win in the poll. Iran's PR was at another level. Will be studied for sure. Yeah, and I think so. Let's get into it. I'll kind of go beyond the PR side of the strategic objectives of both of the countries, the publicly stated objectives and the private, the ones that we can suspect are privately stated and maybe not supposed to be as well known, maybe. So really the main objective for the Iranian side was to stay alive. That was their number one objective. That's really all they could do. And as of this moment, they have. The regime has, you can argue it's bent, you can argue it's severely degraded, but destroyed or collapsed, you can't say that. So that's kind of the situation for Iran itself, is that the regime has survived. Yes, there is new leadership, like some of the regime personnel was forced to be swapped out. Some were killed, some were incapacitated, whatever. But the people that filled those shoes believe just about the same thing. So there was really no regime change in the leadership when it comes to that. And also Iran, with their ability to close the Strait of Hormuz at will, that's another strategic victory for the Iranian regime, is that they can now in the future, if the United States, whether it's after this 2-week, and I think it's more of a temporary pause than a ceasefire, honestly, but after these 2 weeks, the United States, what they'll have to attack first the next time would be to try and seize control of the Strait of Hormuz, because that's Iran. They'll just do the exact same thing next time if we attack. They'll be like, okay, we're being attacked, shut down the Strait of Hormuz. We can produce enough ballistic missiles and drones to defend it. And that's that. It's really kind of that simple when it comes to that. So that's Iran's new go-to card, if that makes any sense. And now the United States objectives are a little different, obviously, right? before the war, I don't think gaining control of the Strait of Hormuz was really maybe the top priority. But we saw the night that the president bombed Iran, the first time, February 28th. It was publicly stated that regime change was the goal. Donald Trump urged Iranian personnel, civilians, citizens to overtake Iranian government buildings, other critical Iranian infrastructure, to overthrow the government. We saw last week the president said a shipment of weapons was intercepted that was supposed to go to either Kurds or an Iranian-backed insurgency group, or a group that would try to do regime change. So I think that's still the main play. That's why I think this is a strategic pause, not a permanent ceasefire, because the United States has not met its objectives as of right now. Whether it was, you can argue, okay, maybe regime change wasn't the objective, so then what was it? They can still produce drones, they can still produce missiles, the regime is still intact. They maintain now total control over the Strait of Hormuz. And if anything, this little ceasefire gives them to, like, they can galvanize the people now. They can say, okay, we're going to the United States. They were calling us, begging for a ceasefire. They're giving us 2 weeks. Now let's see how many ballistic missiles and drones we can build in the next 2 weeks, and let's get ready for round two, or whatever. If you can kind of understand what I mean there. So the U.S. just in Washington's POV cannot let this stand. So I think it's a pause for a couple of weeks. We're going to see what happens in the future when it comes to this. But right now, both sides are going to claim victory. But the publicly stated objectives on night one of the attack have not been met by the United States yet. That's just kind of the reality of the situation at the moment. And now, Iran, they are much weaker, obviously, right? They lost a lot of people. They still can't access that highly enriched uranium that's still buried underground in Isfahan or wherever. The nuclear program still is taking hits, right? So they're not particularly stronger in that sense, but they're not dead. And that's what the U.S. wants. They want Iran to be dead, essentially. They want the regime gone. And also, just keep in mind that there's a third country in all of this. The Israelis definitely don't want the Iranian regime to remain. And do you really think this is just a 2-week ceasefire and then it goes away forever? So, that's kind of my little spiel. So I'll get back to some of the comments here. You guys can kind of nibble on that a little bit. Let's go to where I think we were. Swiss Michael says, hello, love from Swiss. Awesome, dude. Much love from DC. Remember, America spent $2 trillion to replace Taliban with the Taliban. I'm sure the new regime has great opinions of America. DeVito says Satan's computers. Destroyer Z says it's not that simple. What do you think of your poll results? It's just an online poll. Sometimes the results may make sense to what I expect them to be, but other times I understand that sometimes the viewers skew maybe more heavily in a certain direction, or the commenters, so maybe it isn't the biggest shock in the world. I know that we don't want the results of a 10-point commitment, but how do you feel about Iran now wanting us to pay for all the infrastructure that we destroyed and Israel is supposed to give? Yeah, we'll never give them reparations. And that's another thing. Like when you saw both sides release their 10-point plan last night, neither side would agree to any of them. Yeah. Like, why would the United States ever agree to allow Iran to continue enriching uranium when the arguably the greatest Washington sees this as the biggest threat to global hegemony is if Iran got the bomb. So I don't see how that makes any sense at all. Taco Trump, Satan's RC, UK WC INC, trust nothing of this world. Shilhan Omar with some USA flag emojis. Jerry Black, ice cream Biden, fall down Biden. 2 weeks is a good time. They profited off the oil also. Satan's New York NYC. Is the objective to eventually have Iran and oil sold in US dollars? Maybe long term. All that to steal the oil. It's all a trick. Psych AOC warrants the street. After Iran, it's going to be Missouri. Regime change in Missouri. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Governor. Yeah, we're taking over your state now. Bob Manuel says, "Hello, suit guy. What's going on, big man? Wonderful to see ya. Hope you're doing well." Shilhan Omar says, "We are watching them closely. Trust." Trust the Trump. Didn't Trump said they was done in Iran, so stop saying it's not over. Oh, I just don't think it is. Yeah, like I don't. I'd be very shocked if after 2 weeks there was no more fighting. Choose your words wisely. Love Washington D.C. Get that dough. 8558. Destroyer says all credibility is lost. The U.S. was made a god by whom? How are you? I'm doing well. Destroyer Z says, how do you justify this to your future generations? Well, I don't. I'm opposed to the war. I don't agree with it anyway. So, like, I'm just really trying to provide analysis on what people. Because I used to work in the U.S. Senate, like I used to work in the federal government, so I have an idea on how these decisions are made and why they're made. That's what I can try and tell you guys the best I can. So I'm not really trying to particularly push a certain narrative all the time. Let's see. Crazy Normal says he's ignoring my comments because the president is a legitimate criticism to USA. Haven't seen your comments before. That's the first comment I've seen. Where are we? Captain Blackbird 7 says he's also ignoring me. Poor APAC plant. Sure you are. Did you kiss the wall already? Dude, just read the fucking description of the channel, dude. Like, I don't understand this stuff, man. When will the U.S. release the actual casualty and injury count of servicemen? Harry says illuminated from bags. And same, yeah, Lindsey Graham, he's not a happy man right now by any means. Even though he always said he would prefer diplomacy, yeah, he is leaving Disney World a pretty sad camper right now. Chris Martinez says it's not over. DeVito says Fallen World Garden. Should Cernash says should we 25th Amendment his ass? Aulden, please tell as said by your favorite podcaster, Alex Jones. I listen to Alex every now and then. I don't know. I probably listen to Tucker Carlson the most, I'd say, right now. Um, but yeah, that is still pretty. Um, yeah, him, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Candace Owens um, all made it. Yeah, public announcements yesterday that they supported the 25th Amendment against the president. So three of his former biggest public backers and defenders are now no longer. So it's really just insane to see the um, just the switcheroo, right, by some of these what used to be former allies to the president are now no longer. Because yeah, now the um, top people in MAGA are like Mark Levin and Laura Loomer and Lindsey Graham, um, people that like are not actually right wing at all. Let's see. Crazy Normal says house, house, house. Sloth said, I just ordered pizza. Today's a good day. Heck yeah, dude. Anytime you can get some good old grub on, you should do it. And then Feeney 4861 says, how many servicemen were killed or injured so far? We're being told, I believe it's 13. 13 deaths. Lindsay should just have a coming out party so Israel can't blackmail him anymore. Sam says, Aulden, Israeli hate is so high. Does all hate justified or fueled due to core religious difference as well? I think a lot of it's just the people that work in this building um, seem to prioritize the country more than our country a lot of times. I think that's what's making people upset with it. And when people say that, they just go to what leftists do. They say you're racist, you're an anti-Semite, you're this, you're that. So they're deploying leftist tactics, and that's what's making it really annoying. That's why I think before um, I think that's where a lot of it's come, and it's more of a kind of an elitist uh, way of dismissing valid concerns. I think that's what's really making people mad when it comes to it. The tariffs violate the trade deal Trump brokered in 2016. That money needs to be paid back. Dennis says we have some concerns here in Europe. Congress was informed of military action after it began, with 15 American deaths and disputed casualties. What oversight mechanisms ensure transparent debate? Robert Sweeney says Trump is for America. Trash Trash Channel 1970 says, congrats, Trumpers. You got the war and high prices you wanted. And okay, so Dennis, what oversight mechanisms to ensure transparency debate be before the next election? Problem is, probably nothing will happen with it. The last decade to 2 decades in particular, the legislative branch has surrendered a lot of its authority and powers to the executive branch. Um, so I just don't think there's going to be nothing will change in that regard. Uh, but yeah, I think like Thomas Massey tried, right? He tried the War Powers Resolution, and it just got struck down in the Congress. So there was some kind of an effort. Um, let's see. Ken says Trump is a tacoing fool. One way truth, one way, one truth, one life says to all this. I think your first message might have gone filtered out. I don't see your first message, if you did have one. Um, with all the Republicans that are calling on Congress to start the proceedings on the 25th Amendment, Do you think that the podcasters may have it right that we need to invoke the 25th Amendment? You know, it's starting to. I think Dave Smith called on the president to be impeached. So essentially, like the 20th, right? Yeah, called for his removal from office. Um, I don't know. We're just gonna have to keep seeing, right? Like if we'll have to wait for members, like sitting members of the Congress, to um, to say something like that. Because until an elected member, that could even be Thomas Massey. If Thomas Massey calls for the president to be removed through 25th Amendment, then I think that might start to have some legs, but not right now, though. Um, but the like the podcasting class, I do believe has the the wavelength of what the people mostly under 60, I'd say, kind of think about the political world right now. Thank you, dude. Yeah, appreciate. Yeah, got my pink gray tie, matched the suit as well. So appreciate it, man. I'll start looking snazzy for you guys. Everybody would just love to remind you, if you're just now joining the live stream, please leave the video a like. Join the comment section down below. We got a pretty active comment section today as well. Please hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the conversation. We host convos like this all the time here in Washington, D.C. Additionally, we're having Awoken Wednesday tonight. We're going to be talking all about North Korea. So you'll definitely want to be back for that episode tonight. Let's see. Kevin says, "Are you is Israel or America first?" America first, absolutely, man. Let's see. So the CERN, yeah. What his comment about the Islamic connection, I kind of mentioned this on the show last night. Is that Tucker Carlson? He did buy a home in Qatar in December. And if you go back and think a little bit, go back to the summer of 2025, just kind of trying to connect some dots a little bit here. Tucker mentioned that young people not being able to buy homes in America, you know, it's a problem. And absolutely, he's right. I agree. And he mentioned that people don't think long term when they don't own a home. And well, that implies if you do have a home, you think long term. And why buy a home in Qatar? Just just something you just kind of picked up on. Might be nothing, might be something, who knows? But that's just something I kind of thought of. Colonel says to get Peter Thiel's boy J.D. Vance in the office. He's a tweaker on Adderall. While 2 missing soldiers were lost in Iran, Trump tweeted, "Keep the oil, anyone." There's something there. You don't tie ideology or a person to your identity. Trump for America, God for America, free Iran. What do you think of Trump's Easter tweet? We talked about this yesterday morning a little bit. Pretty just waking up to that on Easter morning was a little disturbing for sure. And it's almost like a dude, like, it got people's attention, which is what maybe he was trying to do, but and again, ultimately nothing happened. So it was just an empty threat. Frank says Trump is an excellent negotiator and statesman. This is giving Iran a final chance before destroying it. Kevin says, good man. Thank you. Trump said he likes dictatorships and he said he can make deals with them. Frank says America will when this conflict, Robert says, jail Hillary Clinton. Trump accepted an F-9 jet from these people. Does he have an Islamic connection? LOL. No, Frank, USA lost the propaganda war already. Robert Sweeney says Jesus rose. Music 79E says sup. What's going on, man? Frank says Iran is a Persian state Muslim besides Iraq and the other Middle Eastern countries are Sunni Muslim countries. You know nothing of you don't know that. Yeah, man, we've talked about Iran on the show a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely aware of Iran's proxies, Hezbollah, the Popular Mobilization Force in Iraq, the Houthis in Yemen, and Hamas within Palestine itself. And yeah, I'm aware that Saudi Arabia is the Sunni Muslim capital of the world, and Iran is the Shiite Muslim capital of the world. Sunnis are 85 to 90% of the world's Muslims, and Shiites are 10 to 15% of the world's Muslims. Net says, I'm an alien. Please help me. I'm lost in the planet. Can someone win a major election without any millionaire/billionaire money? Does system allow that? And please be practical when answering. So, can anyone win a major election? Yes, it's just really, really unlikely, I think, because we did see, for example, okay, actually, because most of the congressional members, whether it's House or Senate, they all have a couple of big time donors, and same as like the president, obviously. So I think it's possible. I'm not sure if it will happen anytime soon, though. Disconnected Roamer has a question. Who actually thinks Iran won? Iran is fighting the AI war. When you're random Joe, it's an empty threat. When you're the commander in chief of the most powerful army, it's actually a war crime. Robert Sweeney says nobody. LOL. Iran won the propaganda war on all levels. Disconnected Roamer says bro can't read. Yeah, I'm trying to just get to as many comments as I can. We're pretty busy day on the stream today. Sam says, have you seen Pakistan's prime minister's tweet history? Something was going viral on that. Haven't checked him out yet. Maybe we can take a few minutes on tonight's show. We can look at some of the tweets together. Jasper says, good day, sir. How are you doing today, sir? Doing well, man. It's a chillier day out here in Washington, D.C., but we're doing okay. Healthy, not hungry, nothing to complain. Family's in good health, so nothing going on there. How are you doing, man? And the machinist says Goyam military. Dan says hi. Hello, Dan. Thank you for joining the stream this morning, big man. And then Par 32 says, do you think Trump manipulated the market? I think he was definitely, at a minimum, trying to ensure that the markets remain calm. Because imagine if we're doing this and if the economy crashes or the stock market goes in the toilet, then that's just another crisis he'd have to deal with. So he's trying to keep track of that and make sure nothing goes haywire when it comes to the stock market. Nolan says, yeah, skip mine, tells me everything I need to know. You scared, huh? The YouTube filter blocked it, man. That's the first comment I've seen from you. Use a number instead of a letter, or like intentionally misspell words that you think could be detected. Uh, will I vote for Trump again? No. Um, United States of Israel, Iran having stinky real says Iran having shortage oil. Uh, Turd says, are we going to Lebanon next? Uh, I think that's more the Israelis. I think they want to annex that southern part of southern Lebanon. That's their next play, I think. Uh, because you saw with the Iranians were urging and were adamant that the ceasefire would also include Lebanon, and that is Israel would not be allowed to attack um, Iran's crown jewel proxy within Hezbollah. With all the things that Trump does that people, even his supporters, actually don't like, what do you think the representative are going to get tired of it and actually put a stop to it? It would just take a lot. Like, it's very hard. Think of it as regime change in like another country for an own a party. Just think of how hard it was for the Democrats to move on from Joe Biden, right? It took Joe Biden basically dying on national television for them to finally remove him when we all knew years before that he was not fit for the position. So it's very hard to remove a sitting president, no matter how unpopular they are or may get. The man says TSD, Trump never wrong. It was a mistake. Zachary Wallace says the conflict is over? Question mark. More of a temporary pause is what I'm calling it. Art says Trump said I ran from Iran. Um, let's who's Khamenei? The so Ali Khamenei or Mojave Khamenei, the son or the father? The father was the supreme leader of Iran from 1989 to earlier this year when he was assassinated. Under his reign as supreme leader, he saw the wide expansion of the Revolutionary Guard, and it really he embedded them within his regime. Um, I'd say that was one of the probably the single biggest thing he did for the Iranians was really implement and cement the revolutionary regime into internal power. Even though I disagree with you a lot, thanks for the great stream so far. Of course, man. Yeah, that's what we're here for, is to have these debates and discussions, even if we don't like each other really, or like our opinions, I should say. Uh, so Pakistan's prime minister tweet was sent by someone from Washington D.C. and he forgot to remove the frontline draft. Will the USA have another president that cares about the U.S., or was Biden the last? The conflict was unnecessary. Iran was never a threat to America. Uh, Slinky Real says, I'm from Singapore. My cousins live in the United States. Who is the Ayatollah? Right now, they say it's Mojave Khamenei, but uh, as of now, he hasn't made a public appearance. Now, there's a question. Some people, I see some stuff that maybe he was at his father's compound the day it was attacked. So maybe he was severely injured. Maybe he's in a coma. I think what's more likely is that, and their preparations for this, they moved him somewhere, um, kind of kept him hidden because they knew he would be the successor. He had been the predetermined successor for some period of time, and they just moved him somewhere secure to where he couldn't be touched, or it would be a hassle to try and go after him. So I think they're going to keep him there for the time being. Not even that it really matters, because it's the IRGC is really the supreme leader of the country now. Doesn't matter what Mojave Hamane really says. His father ensured that um, after his death, the Revolutionary Guard really more or less run the show for everything in the country. Um, will the next First Lady speak English, or was Joe Biden the last? Huh. I'm sure there will be. Um, yeah, I'm sure Joe Biden wasn't going to be the last white First Lady. Breaking, Iran demands $1 per barrel on oil transiting the Strait of Hormuz, payment to be made in cryptocurrency. Ooh, interesting. Mouth says U.S. surrender to Iran, LOL. Brutal Facts says Ayatollah is cooked. Mouth adds Trump is pathetic. Jasper says we have to protect America as she is hanging in the balance. If we lose America, we lose the world. Kayak Mike believes the Mojave Hamane is dead. Sir Owdog says we got more people in here than likes now. Why don't we tip that like button to help him out? He's actually a good podcaster, and he doesn't get mad at his phone screen like a lot of the other ones. Absolutely, man. Yeah, leave a like and leave a comment, vote in our poll, and also subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying our discussion. Sizzle Moon says he ignores all the comments he doesn't agree with. That's not true, man. Sometimes the comments will get filtered by YouTube, and I'll read them and just maybe not engage with them much further than that. There's a lot of people in the comment section today. Uh, let's see. Jasper says, hit the like and subscribe buttons if you love America and her freedom. Uh, YouTube admin says why Trump begged Iran for a ceasefire. Yesterday he was screaming about victory. I like because I'm Swiss and like the opposite views because I like to learn, unlike so many Americans. LOL. Not an offense, it's beautiful. Why'd Iran use citizens as meat shields for their power station? Yeah, um, they were really just trying to push the precedent and to make it that much more difficult of a decision if he ultimately did. Right? Just imagine what the headlines would be this morning. It would be all the media would be saying Trump killed innocent civilians standing outside of Iran power plants. So the media would just be a dog on him. Uh, People that think Iran is winning the conflict should study military history. It's not even close. LMAO. Iran already won the propaganda wars, so what are you talking about? You guys are a prime example of the difference between a real Republican and the MAGA Republicans. Actually don't look up for facts and only like listening to conspiracy theories, a real podcast. Critical, I have a feeling that's all you do rather than developing as a human. Really, Swiss? I didn't watch the news. 1234 933. And then Yas says critical is slow. Cabbage Farmer says, what comes next? Wonderful question. And I've been thinking about that a little bit over the last couple of hours. And right now we're in this 2-week ceasefire, but I really view it more of a strategic pause, more or less. We're going to, because the negotiations before the war began were not even real negotiations, right? It was just a list of demands by the United States, and basically it was meet these demands or we're going to kill you, basically, or try and destroy your country. And now, after 39, 40 days of fighting, the Iranian regime has bent, but it hasn't broken. And they retain the ability to produce and launch drones and ballistic missiles, which is a problem when it comes to wanting sovereign control of the Strait of Hormuz again. So I think Iran's survival strategies have kept them going so far. But for like long term, I still think probably regime change is the most likely outcome, because how can the United States, after all of this, just pack up and go home without, and let's say Iran still refuses to give up nuclear enrichment or ambitions to continue enriching uranium, or if they continue funding proxies, whatever it is. I just don't see how from Washington's point of view, is allowed to happen. Okay, so good question though. I think we're still next couple of hours. What we'll have to see what both countries say today, and kind of try and put the pieces together a little bit. Trump admin expected to slash Iran war funding request. Washington Post. Well, that would be big. Um, Thank you, President Trump, for liberating Iran and Venezuelans. Have a good day. See you tonight. Got to go work. Don't let him get too upset, which they never. Um, uh, no one realized my profile is AI generated. Swanky, no one cares, homie. Stargirl 4077 says, you look cute. Thank you very much. I appreciate your compliment. Always trying to look snazzy for my fans on the YouTube channel. What time are your streams at night? We usually go at 8:15. 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. Uh, yeah, usually for Awoken Wednesday. So yeah, happy Awoken Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great Wednesday out wherever you are, watching around the world. Have a pretty busy comment section going on this evening, or this morning, excuse me, rather, here in Washington, D.C. We are right outside the United States Capitol building. Would love if everyone that is enjoying the stream so far, please leave the video a like, join the comment section down below, vote in our poll today, and also please subscribe to the channel. Send this with your friends and your family. Would love to have all of you in the Awoken Army. All right, let's see what's going on here. Darren says the war is not over. I agree. I think it is like a temporary pause, is what the term I'm using. Darren says it's Thursday here in Australia. Wow, already. There we go. So who's next? Greenland, Canada, or I guess Cuba? Probably Cuba. We're just going to have to see the timeline on that. Lone Wolf says, should Trump bomb Iran so the left doesn't call Trump a chicken? If Trump nuked Iran, would that make him together? Or tougher, excuse me, not together. You're in the future, Darren. Tell me the lottery number, please. LOL. Slink for real. That looks like a little purple fly emoji. I think this will end up humbling Trump a bit. People actually think Iran won. Which number of Supreme Leader are we on? All right, peace out, Star Girl. Thanks for hanging out with us today. One sec. We're going to head over to the Supreme Court building for a couple of minutes. Let's hang out over here. Do a little change of scenery real quick. Yeah, Swiss Michael. So what? If I usually will re-upload the live stream as like its own video sometime. But I'll usually re-upload the video sometimes. If not, I will. You can always hit the live tab on my channel, and you can kind of go back and watch all the previous streams that way. Correct. Yep. Yeah, you can always go back and watch them. Yep. They're always. The good thing about the lives is everything live is in order as well, because I don't think there's any way for me to like go back and look that way, change the order of them. Lone Wolf asks, do you think America can have an interest in Iran and Israel can have an interest in Iran at the same time? I think they do, yeah. Washington and Tel Aviv, while it may not all overlap 100% of the time, there is some mutual interest, at least. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, same. That would be pretty. Then that would signal at least what Trump is saying there. That would signal maybe more long-term stability. But and also we just know he's trying to say stuff always as well. So needs to keep the markets calm. That's one of his top priorities as well. Um, let's see. I went back too far in the comments section. Trump reportedly says there may be joint U.S.-Iran venture on the Hormuz toll. Thanks for that info. Yo, Sam, they can try and take me out, but I'm ready. chairman of the Knesset uh, National Security Committee, mocks Trump. So the chairman of the Knesset, that's the Knesset is Israel's like Congress. So it's a member from Israel's government mocking the president. Yeah, they're and you can tell Mark Levin was seething last night. Laura Loomer. So the Israelis aren't particularly thrilled with this at all. Um, they got to play. They have to play looking like they're excited or looking like they're not wanting more war. But that's kind of all they can do right now. Because if they look like mad that there's a ceasefire, then their mask will kind of slip off a little bit. All right, but we are heading towards the Supreme Court now. I'm going to be hanging out here for the next couple of minutes with you guys. Let's get back to some more comments, though. I'm off. Thanks for the stream. Bye, everyone. Okay, man. Sume1. What's going on, man? Welcome back to the stream. But I thought America only attacked Iran because Israel made Trump do so. My whole worldview is crashing down around me. Well, the thing is, this time, the reason for attacking Iran was different than the stated objective last June. Last June, the strikes against the nuclear facilities explicitly that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon, and this time didn't really give a reasoning. Um, David Moore says, "Good morning." Uh, no, I don't think you were kicked out before. At least I didn't kick you out. But good morning, regardless, David. Happy to have you back on the stream, big man. Good point, Atlas, because I am actually. I yeah, I'm representing Mr. Woods in his most recent car accident. It was not his fault. He was not on any substances whatsoever. He and the explanation for him looking exhausted during the police interrogation video is that he's tired. He was preparing for the Masters. He was trying to. He was working very hard, some late nights in the gym, trying to prepare himself for the tournament. And he was trying to get to, um, heading to a birthday party and just flew off the road. So um, he was doing nothing wrong and nothing illegal, an honorable man. All of the car accidents prior were not his fault as well. So um, Mr. Woods is an innocent man. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I knew it could get you to chuckle a little bit. So hey everybody, if you're just now joining the stream and joining the conversation, if you're enjoying going back and forth with somebody in the chat, whether it's about Israel, Palestine, Iran, United States conflict, would love to, if you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's a great way that more people can find our debates and our conversations. That way we can expand and grow the channel brick by brick and day by day with the support and help from you guys. Make sure you have voted in the poll today. We're asking who you guys think won this round of the USA-Iran conflict. Right now, 68% of you guys believe the Islamic Republic came out on top, and about 32% of you believe the United States won. So, would love to continue this debate. We're also going to be going live this evening. We're going to be talking all about North Korea and Pyongyang's nuclear program in particular, and compare it to Iran's nuclear program. So very excited to share some research and information with you guys about that this evening. So would love, yeah, please hit that subscribe button so you can hang out and join future streams. Are you from Cincy originally? Okay, I'm from Evansville, so like pretty close. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Heck yeah, dog. Alex says this guy seems smart. Thank you, brother. Uh, the Lone Wolf says using human shields is a war crime. Do the women cover themselves in bed sheets because they want to also? What happens if they don't? Taiwan KMT opposition leader Chang Li-woon has stated a rare journey for peace to China, first in a decade, with possible Xi Jinping meeting. Huh, that's something we covered Japan about a month ago on the show. We did an episode about Japan. So I think it's going to be a good idea that we start hitting the rest of those nations, um, in Asia over there. China, we'll need to do an episode on China, one on Taiwan, South Korea, um, and we've already done one on Japan. So, and we're doing North Korea tonight. So we'll have some good stuff there. Uh, I've subscribed. Thank you, Atlas. Appreciate you subscribing to the channel, man. Lone Wolf says, do the women cover themselves in bed sheets because they want to? What happens if they don't? Sam says, so Taiwan is also going as well. Marco is not doing his job correctly. Lone Wolf says, USA lost guys. According to the ignorant poll, Iran has two tough guys. Cabbage says, excessive use of emoji signals a low IQ. Shilhan Omar says, speak the truth, actual debunks the whole little schoolgirl BS. Talk about what really matters in life. My emojis, do they trigger you? Snowflake. So explain how America won, please. If you don't just low IQs on you. Root in DC to please Daddy Trump. Otherwise, wrath may fall on NATO. Jasper says, I have explained how America has won. Atlas says it is religious. Don't hate. You can't contend with argument, so you talk about emojis. Here's some more for you. What about American women covering their faces and makeup? Says Steve. Something about a dude named Lone Wolf with a night in his picture, talking shit to people and spamming emotes like a teen tracks, stereotypical. True is makeup a covering. Lone Wolf got it. David Moore says cabbage farmer 42 stick to picking your cabbage. Gary says by giving Iran what they want. Got a pretty festive and fiery comment section this morning. Glad to see you guys. Yeah, we're talking about Iran, Israel, United States, talking a little bit about the Pacific as well with North Korea, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea. Also discuss some other political topics this morning as well. Hey everybody, so if you're just now joining the stream and really liking this convo so far, make sure to leave the video a like, hit that subscribe button as well. That's a wonderful way in which you can help more users find our stream and channel, which is a way that we can climb to the top, which is our goal. Sir Srinash says, should Ilhan Omar be sent to Somalia? And asks for my opinion, a yes or no. If there's credible and like verifiable evidence that she broke the law entering the country or is doing something illegal with her immigration, then absolutely she should be deported. Um, but we've heard this song and dance several times before that she married her brother, and then I guess even if she did, I guess if it's not illegal legally, I don't know if you can remove her. Um, it seems Ilhan Omar seems to be like a kind of red meat thrown out every now and then, and nothing ever happens with her. It's almost like it's better for the GOP if she's not deported because she's a constant. GOP is kind of like a vampire towards her. They can always suck blood and suck energy out of her just as a topic and get people riled up. So for that alone, it may politically the GOP may want to keep her around. Let's see. Okay, is makeup a facial covering? I'd say it's more of an enhancer than a full covering. Colonel says, welcome Lone Wolf, how's life in India today? Life in India, it's covered in garbage and people have poop underneath their fingernails. Dude says, strategic, he got owned into next week. That is beautiful, by the way. I hope you Lone Wolf carry on. Or he says, I like you, Lone Wolf, carry on. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I would have voted for him in 2028 or 2032. Let's see. Glasses equal important. You know, man, got that Versace vision on all day, every day. Shilhan Omar says she married her brother to get in. Whereas her son/nephew. Dude says voted for Charlie. MAGA men are ridiculous. Sarash says, does the Taco Tuesday happen today or not? It kind of was. It was kind of a. Now, will it happen today? No. There's no need for fire debates. We stand with America. We love America and want the best for America. Anything else is against America. Are those 3D glasses? Nah, man, they're just some of the nicest sunglasses out there. Would the Middle East be better off as nuclear glass? Sometimes a lot of people will say that. They believe that. Nolan says, I support America first. We do too, Nolan. Dude says, Israel for sure. Jasper Man also says America first. Atlas says, okay. Enhanced like your glasses. Suranana says, Aulden, are you MAGA or America first now? I'm America first in the sense like Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, some of those guys. I'm not all like on that online right. I'd say I'm still right wing, and with my political experience and campaigns, I know how to, because people like Lindsey Graham just simply can't be reelected. They need to lose. So I have the tactics and the experience to help try and make that happen. I'm glad chickened out. America can save a little respect, says Cutter. Uh, Lucifer says, yeah, around 100% in everything. Assume one says, do not answer my question. Can you repeat it again? Sorry, I must not have seen it. If you took off your glasses right now, would you look like Charlie Kirk? And again, everyone knew he was going to Taco. On just, no, you don't have to say everything. If you believe Trump, then what did Epstein was expert in? Let's see. Unsure the exact details with that. Something weird going on there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, kind of got to go through chat a little bit. Uh, Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Everyone support their country first, and that's a good thing. He can't hear you from way. Rest in peace, Charlie. Absolutely. Love the Purple Heart as well. Charlie would be seen as a religious extremist. Where I'm from, he'd be laughed at for being so stupid. Says at dude. Um, but we got the answer. Thank you, Aulden. We all know what Trump did. Atlas says, wait till you get to my question. David says, I'm sorry that somebody took religion serious. My God is an awesome God. We have seen what makes the demons cheer, and my father is a 93-year-old Marine company commander, Vietnam, and he says ceasefires don't mean shit, especially one like this. Yeah, I think your father's right on the money there. Welcome back, OU Sucks. Wonderful to see you again, man. Glad to have you back on the stream. Colonel says Red Bull gives me a stomach ache. Ooh, sorry to hear that, man. Did you drink any this morning? Assume one says true, and then Atlas says, do you have an opinion? What's your is it still the makeup question? I answered your the makeup question I talked about already. I'm not sure about your next question. $162 of you guys have voted in the poll. so far today. 67% of you guys believe Iran won this conflict, while 33% of you believe the United States has. Atlas says, I want to like you, but you have no opinion. What's the thing you want me to talk about? I've answered your makeup question already. Like, I'm not sure what the thing you want me to talk about is. Iran got everything they wanted. Trump folded. LOL. David Moore says, I'm not going to unsubscribe, but I am going to leave your chat because there's a lot of ignorant folks in here, and I don't feel like arguing with stupid individuals. Have a great day, Aulden. All right, man. Yeah, hope that flooring goes well. We're doing a stream tonight at 8:15, so definitely come and join that one, man. Hey, everybody, just a little good morning to you guys. Would love to wish you all good morning. Happy Awoken Wednesday. Welcome back for another episode of Awoken with Aulden. We're out here at the Supreme Court building of the United States, hanging out with you guys, taking your questions. We're talking a lot about the conflict in the Middle East today. Additionally, we have been talking about the Pacific, uh, Western Asia. Let's see. Maybe opinion like TC podcast or Joe Rogan, or some opinion sharing from YouTube, maybe like some video podcast or something. Yeah, I'm not sure what Atlas was trying to say. Um, he said, wait until you get to my question. And then I asked several times, what question did you ask? And he just kept saying, why won't you answer my question? So um, I'm not sure if he understood what I was trying to communicate to him, because it didn't make any sense. Beta Simmons says, Alden, please define 25th Amendment his ass, please. Yeah, so like Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Candace Owens, and I'm sure probably a few others yesterday. Basically, the 25th Amendment, his ass, is for the cabinet to like remove the president from office. The president, they if they view he's unfit to serve or hold office, um, the cabinet can like remove him, basically do regime change a little bit. Um, so some people, yeah, like they just want him gone from office, more or less, essentially. Um, they feel like he's, whether it's competency or effectiveness, whatever it is. Um, well, the thing is, I'm not in the cabinet, so I can't participate in anything like that. That's like J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, uh, Susie Wiles, John Ratcliffe, other cabinet personnel to do that. Something that citizens and civilians don't have any sway over. Nathan Hales 5901 says or asks, is it okay for Trump to call for a genocide? Yesterday, that tweet he mentioned was pretty damning, right? He said basically the entire he's going to kill an entire civilization yesterday morning, and said he would do it yesterday afternoon, last night. Um, didn't happen though. Again, just kind of bluff, trying to get just his style of negotiating. He's like, what? This is the fifth time that he has threatened to basically um, has issued the ultimatum against their energy sectors and departments, and has not um, followed through with it really to the extent that he has promised. So, Swiss says, so dinner time here in Swiss. I'm out. Thanks for the stream. Love from Swiss. Our man, love from DC. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Lone Wolf says, what genocide? Are you all making another word lose its meaning? Everything is a genocide, but Ukraine and Russia isn't a genocide. Strange. Nice. To 171 votes now on the poll today. 67% of you guys still the numbers have not changed. 67% of you guys believe the Iranians won this this conflict, and 33% of you guys believe the United States won the conflict, or at least this round of it, right? This 2-week ceasefire, who knows um, what the outcome of that will look like. Everybody, yeah, we are outside of the Supreme Court building today. This morning, we're going to head back to the U.S. Capitol building now, though. Head back across the street, head back to the Capitol building, hang out there for another couple of minutes, and then probably start winding down a little bit. So, uh, Nolan asks, how's the weather in Washington today? It's probably 45 degrees right now. I'd say it's the coldest it's been for probably the last 10 days. It's sunny at least though, so it makes it a little bit more manageable. But this weekend was um, just the best weather ever. If you're familiar with the DC or have been DC a few times, maybe you're from the area. There's this bar called Bullpen, and it is in terms of summer, spring, and summer bars, it's just by far my favorite bar, and it's an outdoor bar. There's live music. It's always great music. There's always a ton of people. It's so much fun. I went there this weekend, and it was beautiful. So I also was able to uh, convert 18 new subscribers to the channel at Bullpen as well. So it's also a great social area to chat and meet new people. Uh, Beta says Alden Trump goes full civilization dies tonight. Tough guy then backs off last second. Weak ass blue balling clown. Joe says at the very least the decapitation strikes didn't work. Right, yeah. So, and I think there's different definitions of what quote winning um, looks like for the both sides, and I kind of laid out those conditions earlier in the stream. I'm not sure if you guys were here for those, but see the objectives from the U.S. is regime change, right? The president announced that on his the night we bombed them the first time on February 28th, urged Iranians to overtake government buildings and other important government infrastructure. Um, and as of right now, that has not happened. So, as of the U.S. has not met its strategic objective in that regard. Um, what does quote winning look like for Iran? Well, obviously they can't compete with us on a traditional military campaign. We're just simply better, superior, have much far better technology, equipment. But what they can do is like survive, right? Just prevent an invasion or prevent an uprising, and that's how the Iranians win. And even with the supreme leader dead, lots of other IRGC personnel um, killed off, other clerical figures removed. Ultimately, the Iranian regime has bent, but it hasn't broken. So the regime has survived. It hasn't collapsed. There is no regime change. Um, so ultimately, we're kind of back to where we were at the very beginning of this. Seems it's breaking. Iran's news reports that Iran will withdraw from the ceasefire if Israel continues its attacks in Lebanon. Yeah, it's a pretty yeah, it's 66 to 34. That's one of the larger margins. I remember last Friday the "Are you sad or glad?" Pam Bondi was fired. That was at like um, what was it, 18 to 82%? I think like 18% of people were sad, and 82% were glad. So a pretty, I think that was the largest majority we've ever had um, on a poll. But this one's up there. Ooh, good one. Probably say Cash. Probably Patel's in the next one to go. Dean Jacobs says hi. Hello, Dean. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Glad to have you here. Shahan Omar says, I'm fucking stoked. We got to rescue both our pilots. Big W, if you ask me, behind enemy lines. Zoom one says, is this a relapse? Uh, not, I don't think so. Cranky Mullet, Trump is underwater in 135 of the congressional districts. Beta, someone says, should non-white be allowed to run from Republican side? Aulden, please answer this. Like run for public office, you mean? Like seek public office? Colonel says being endorsed by Trump is a political kiss of death. And Cranky Mullet says yes, it's in two different polls. And a historian quoted it the other day. Interesting. I cannot wait for the midterms. It says in a political position like senator, governor, or president. Yeah, man, totally. Yeah, I think people should not take that stuff into account when voting. You just want the best people, right? Um, but yeah, I don't. Yeah. Dean says, "Hi, USA or Iran? USA or Iran? What now? We're in the United States." Ethan Moore 93. Oh, in terms of who won the um, yeah, like if anything, it's a strategic victory for Iran at the moment, because the regime did not collapse. They maintained sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, um, and yeah, that's kind of it. And they still maintain the capabilities to produce ballistic missiles and drones. As long as they can do those three things, um, it's a strategic victory for them. And what they'll do now is on their state media, they will go, they'll go back to the state media and they will start saying, "Hey, look, they killed our supreme leader. They bombed us 15,000 or however many thousands of times, 15,000 times, and they still could not um, topple the regime, and they will just go right back to rebuilding everything that was destroyed." So, um, yeah, like right now, it's a strategic victory for the Iranians. But the reason I say right now is that this is not over by any means. Um, this is just a strategic pause, a repause, and whether it's 2 weeks or maybe they extend the ceasefire by another week, we will go back in and we'll try and topple the government again. It's just like boxing with this. This round is over. Both sides are going to go back to their corners. Both sides, they will rebuild for a couple of weeks. They'll try and replenish losses, and then they'll just go right back at it until eventually the United States achieves its strategic objectives and topples the Iranian regime. It's just a matter of time. Sam says Aulden Vivek is. The timing is not good at all. Yeah, it's just a tough time for Vivek right now. He's kind of taking shit from both sides a little bit about the H-1B comments from on the right and even the left. I think Amy Acton released a campaign ad with that being the forefront and the forefocus. And he's also just taking shit from the left just in general. Uh, he and if Democrats if there's a blue wave or like a better Democratic year, then that just makes it hard for him in general. So there's some historical headwinds he's against, and there's also some circumstantial uh, events going on with that. Yeah, just a tough time for Mr. Ramaswamy. Not looking great. Uh, Dean says, which one will be a safer option in World War III? Oh, the United States, obviously. Time is .00. You rang. Not sure what that question means, man. Beta Summon says, should it be mandatory to be Christian or Jewish to run from GOP side in any election? Uh, I don't think as many voters are. Uh, there is a separation of religion when it people's personal religion. Sometimes when it comes to their seeking of political office. Cranky Mullet says, Iran didn't change regimes, it just brought in new hardliners. Susan says, Amen. Shilhan Omar, assume one says, how about Jew and Muslims in New York City? Are they living together? I mean, yeah, like I haven't heard anything of like mass killings or whatever. Shilhan Omar says record breaking enlistments for the United States while IRGC drafts 12-year-olds. Pathetic. Um, Joe says at this point, can we even call Iran a World War level threat? Hmm. Nah, they're pretty decimated right now, but still alive though. So can't really ignore them per se. Cranky Mullet is calling for the 25th Amendment. Hmm. Interesting. Whoa. Just found some pro. 5826 says, have a great day. Thank you, man. You as well. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining the stream for a little bit this morning. So, morning. So we got, all right, guys, we have Trump lies and the Republican Party supports his lies, Trump's corruption and tyranny destroying American democracy, Trump's epic fury equals epic fiasco. Remember these Americans, Renee Good, Alex Preddy, Ruben Ray Martinez, Jesus Wept, and photos of Alex Reddy and Renee Good. Yeah, that's what's going on in Washington, D.C. this morning. Everybody, we're here at the Capitol taking. Sir, could you tell us who you're with, please? You're very welcome to check. Oh, definitely here. Got, I actually got a microphone, so do you guys want to just kind of talk to my stream right now a little bit? Yeah, here. My channel's called Awoken with all. It's my own YouTube page. Oh, yeah, yeah, just doing it by myself. Yeah, just kind of walk around DC and just kind of show people what's like happening on the streets and stuff. So, yep, exactly. Those are great for the channel. Yeah. There we go. So let's get this guy up and going. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, once this microphone gets like loaded up, you should be good. Maybe 1 sec. Hang on. Awesome. Yeah, let's try this. Yep. What you guys saying? Where are you guys out here protesting today?
My name is Inez. I'm an immigrant. I'm also a US citizen. I have friends and family in Australia, New Zealand, England, all over the place in Europe. And apart from the fact that when I came to America, I came to what I thought was the land of the free, where the people had a say and we had a democracy. I'm beginning to increasingly find that's not the case. And because I have contacts all over the world is in dismay over what the president is doing.
This is your guys' first time out here at the Capitol. Wait, sorry. Fans are texting, can't hear me. Sorry. I'm gonna try to get this. Ask Bob. He's the one who started. On my microphone, sorry. Here, I'll just unplug this guy. Maybe this will work better. Sorry, brother. Yeah.
Well, we started doing this in January, so we've been here. This is the 9th straight week that we've been here. And we've been coming once a week. We hope to increase the numbers as many as we can find volunteers. And we're hoping that here we are. You come to this plaza much? It's astounding. It's like the Roman Forum. People are walking around. And so we come up here. We have real problems with the current administration. The thing that's made me the most angry has been those people who were killed in Minneapolis. And I was really completely blown away by the response of Minneapolis to what they insisted was an invasion. And they basically pushed the invasion off, at least somewhat. So that's me.
Okay. Awesome. Bill, nice to meet you, Bill. Yeah.
Did you get my bit?
I think so. Yeah, just microphones all of a sudden just kind of stopped working, but I unplugged it, so I should have the audio on here. But also, yeah, you guys have been out here 9 weeks now doing this.
Yeah.
Tracking.
Bye.
What's some of the more notable people that have maybe disagreed with you or that have came out here?
Actually, the people who disagree kind of hold they just walk by and sometimes they talk, sometimes they don't.
There was one guy at one time who, when he came up with various things like crimes by illegal immigrants, when there's more by American citizens, and all sorts of arguments that he came up with, that when he ran out of things that we had an answer to, just decided to blame it all on Biden and then walked off. Generally speaking, most people are positive, and even the ones who aren't, they might shout something like Trump 2028, but they don't enter into an argument. And, it's everybody's First Amendment right, not just ours.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say for the stream, sir?
guess other than it first started coming out because of the summer executions of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, murdered on the street with no due process, just completely un-American. So that was my initial motivation for coming out. But there are so many other topics to worry about: the war, the economy, just the general corruption in the Trump administration and the Republican Party's willingness to support it all. If we allow this to continue, we may not have free and fair elections going forward. And if that's the case, then it will truly be the end of American democracy. And that's what I am particularly concerned about.
How do you feel about Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman?
Well, Fetterman is very disappointing to me. I was a Pennsylvania resident until recently when I moved to Maryland, and I voted for Fetterman. There wasn't necessarily a better alternative, but Fetterman, he seems to knee jerk just support the Republicans as his initial point. I think he wants to try to be cooperative, but it almost seems he doesn't think the issues through before he casts these votes. Certainly all the people I know who voted for him in the last round will be voting against him in the future, and I hope he gets voted out.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman?
Disappointing.
From Maryland.
Mm.
I don't try to get involved with other states. As Bob was saying, it seems that some of the Democrats are conservative Democrats, and when they lean towards
Morning.
it's okay. But the MAGA movement is something else. It's not really conservative. It's not really Republican. So it's hard to know what goes on inside people's minds.
I also think part of how I feel. I mean, the area we come from is not that economically prosperous, and the cutting of Medicaid, the increase of prices, the total lack of concern for people who struggle to get by from day to day, that really bothers me. It seems to be everything motivated towards those who have billions at the expense of those who don't, and that I think is callous of our current government to not care for the average American or the poor American.
Any predictions for the midterms this fall?
Predictions, it's more hope. You know, I really hope that they lose, the Republicans lose control of the House, because one of the things I learned about becoming a citizen is the provision of checks and balances, and at the moment there don't seem to be any, and I hope that if they lose the House they will. The general trend of elections so far, local elections seem to be favouring the Democrats. I only hope it continues.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for your time today. Yeah. Sure, I'll be back at some point in the future. Do you guys, it's just daily or like once a... Oh, cool. Awesome. Sounds good, guys. Well, yep. Thank you very much, sir. Cool little interaction there. I'm going to try to get the microphone situation back up and running. Let's see what I can do here. The mics died. That was the problem. So they're charging We'll continue the stream though, normally though, without my little mics. Let's see what is some of the comments here. I got some new people in the chat. Welcome everybody. Hey, just a little reminder, everybody, if you're new to the stream, enjoying the stream, interested in Washington D.C. or American politics, would love to encourage you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We are still growing brick by brick and day by day. We're ascending over 750 subscribers recently, so we'd love to have you join and be a part of the first 1,000 Awoken in the Awoken army. Also, please vote in our poll today. 205 of you guys have voted in it, and 63%. So it's starting to go down a little bit. The percentage of you guys think that Iran won the war has declined to 63%. 37% of you guys believe they have. The United States has won the war. We're also going live tonight. We'll be going live tonight. We're going to be talking about North Korea, the history of North Korea, and in particular, their nuclear program, former leaders, and history of their country. So definitely would want to have you guys on that stream as well. Tonight at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time is when we'll get going for that guy. All right, let's see. Got lots of back and forth with USA and Iranian flags in the chat. Let's see. I think USA might continue this war because Israel is in a struggle. It's inhumane is using 12-year-olds at RTC checkpoints. Telecom says love live Iran. And James says acting like we don't have the greatest military. Captain says Vance canceled his visit to Pakistan. He surely is scared right now. I saw what he was in Hungary yesterday, I think it was. John says Iran got clapped so hard and Frog Stomp 11 with a bunch of Iranian flags. Then we got Shilhan Omar, long live the United States of America. Heck yeah, brother. Good one. AP3 says Iran, no water, begging now, LOL. What's Iran got left now? Sudan ports. James Anderson says, when we fight, we're trying not to kill civilians. What other militaries do that? We're so far ahead, it's not close. We've talked about the Sudan war before on the channel. We did an episode about Sudan probably 3 or 4 months ago now. It's been a long time. It was one of the OG episodes when we were still going through the countries. There we go. The stream collapsed for a second, but we're back on now. Leonard says the U.S. is rotting. Gates Judy says hi. Hello, Judy. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. $600 million a year per ship from Hamadi.
This has been a complete and total failure militarily, but it has also been a moral failure for our country, and the Democrats must push in order to ensure that we have this impeachment proceeding begin in the House of Representatives.
GOP Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin opted at Trump ally, told the Wall Street Journal yesterday that the president, quote, loses me if he attacks civilian targets like infrastructure. Does it give you any comfort that some of your Republican colleagues share your perspective on this issue?
The problem is that the Republican majority was silent for 40 days. And maybe there were a few voices at the very end, but it wasn't enough. The Republican Party right now...
Yeah, we are here in Washington, D.C., everybody. Just a little reminder. So try to show you guys a little bit of everything as we kind of walk by it, walk past it. There's always something new / being constructed going on in D.C., so yeah, like that TV right there reminds me of, not sure if you guys have seen the Christmas movie, A Christmas Story. It reminds me of when Lil Ralphie and his friends are looking at the toys through the glass window outside of Gimbals. No, not Gimbals. That's Elf. Outside of whatever the toy store is. Kind of reminds me like watching that television right there a little bit too. We're going to grab a coffee. Tiger Woods Pro 3. What's going on, Tiger Woods? Can I get just a venti hot black coffee, please? Yeah. Yeah, Shohan, gotta get some coffee, man. Been a long walk. Yeah, been a solid walk. Solid little walk. So. Let's see what you guys are up to. Time for the West to remove the tofu terror. Truck says Ohio, the bankrupt one casino, then less three. Now he's bankrupting the rest of USA. Yeah, pay their rent to the Israeli landlords. Thank you very much. Yep. All right, very cool. So I think we're going to start probably winding down here in the next 5 minutes. The stream had another very strong stream this morning. Just another reminder, if you enjoyed the stream, if you enjoy political conversation, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you are able to easily find us again for streams. We're having another stream this evening. We're going to be talking all North Korea. Happy to show you guys some of my research for tonight's presentation there. Happy Awoken Wednesday, everybody, our favorite day of the week on this channel. Thrilled to be back with you guys once again. Any other programming notes? Yeah, so we got tonight. Then we'll be back live again tomorrow morning as well. We'll be walking around Washington, D.C. Maybe we'll try like a different, unique location or something. Plenty of cool places to check out in Washington, D.C., though. However, then yeah, our poll today. Our poll today. 219 of you guys voted. Pretty strong turnout for the poll. 63% say Iran won this conflict, while 37% of you guys believe the United States won it. So we'll have a big dig and bite on that a little bit here tonight. Yeah, unless if anyone has any some last second questions, we will we'll probably end the stream here, and we'll see you guys tonight at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. So, yeah, it is such a nice. Really do enjoy living here. Lots of fun, unique people. Always some cool people to talk to. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, Captain Go says, "Thank you, Aulden. We are truly awoken. Bye bye. Peace out." Awesome, brother. All right, everybody. Well, we'll catch you tonight at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, much love and have a wonderful Awoken Wednesday. Absolutely. Free speech is supreme on this channel.